Hi, this is Clark Tibbetts. I'd like to share with you a few slides of the Land Stewardship Center located in Columbiaville, Michigan. These will be a few pictures of the land and the buildings on the property. There are 2 lakes on the property and 3 wetlands. This is the picture of the back lake where we have a pavilion for workshops and picnics and seminars, that sort of thing. We have a dock, canoeing on the lake, and a raft for swimming. The main house on the property is located at the edge of the back lake. This is the entrance to the back side of the house from the driveway. And this is the front side of the house, showing a new solar collector that we built just a couple of years ago. The right side of the collector is a greenhouse, and the left side is for heating hot water. This is the greenhouse side with stuccoed walls. And the stucco is covering rubber tires that form the foundation of the solar collector. This is the other side of the collector that heats the hot water for the house. We also have a shower down in the collector for campers and visitors to use after they've been swimming. We're collecting water off the roof of the house for watering in the gardens with a couple of different kinds of rain barrels. And these are a few shots of the inside of the main part of the house where the caretaker of the property lives. At the time these pictures were taken, we were in between caretakers, so the rooms are pretty empty, except for the loft upstairs, which has a few pieces of furniture in it. And this is the part of the house that I use when I'm in Michigan, my apartment. This kitchen is in a closet. Works pretty well for a small size. And both sides of the house have a spiral staircase leading up to the loft areas. I sleep in the loft on this side of the house. This is the deck that forms the roof of the solar collector. And we'll see a few views out now from the deck. This one of the pavilion to the right. This one directly out onto the back lake. And this one of a pair of trumpeter swans, which we have from the Department of Natural Resources in order to try and start a colony of these indigenous swans in this part of the state of Michigan. There's a better shot of the pavilion. And the main garden on the property, called the Paradise Garden, because we let the animals from the sanctuary roam pretty freely in this garden, except for one small fenced-in area where we put some of the more sensitive plants. This is the teepee in the garden. It's usually covered with morning glories. A view out from the teepee towards the pavilion. This is a semi-wild garden. There are lots of habitats for butterflies and beneficial insects, as well as space for growing the kinds of food crops that people who are here, eat. This is my favorite crop in the garden, comfrey, which we use for mulching. There are usually about 3 or 4 people here each summer, the caretaker and myself and 1 or 2 other volunteers. And we all eat out of the garden. We're doing a lot of mulching with pondweed to add nutrients to the soil, as well as compost. This is a cabin that I built back in the 1990s. It's open air, summertime use only, and a new outhouse composting toilet that we built just a year or so ago out of all recycled materials. And there's the composting system. It's a bucket system. This is the pathway leading back to a bridge, and it goes over to a little island on the property. The island's about 1 acre in size. It's formed by this channel. It's filled with lilies. This is the entrance to a meditation garden on the island. The central feature in the garden has the red flaming maple tree to depict fire, and the rocks to depict earth, and a bowl in the center with water in it to depict the water element, and 8 stones leading up to the center, with a view out of the meadow on the right side, and a view back the left side of the cabin. Path through sweet peas. This path goes around the island, and the view of the meadow again with the spruce trees in the background. The path goes on around the back lake through the woods. And there's a picture of the island from the other side of the lake. This is now the front lake on the property, and the grasses in front are native grasses and wildflowers that we planted under a government program. And this is a view of the next door farm that is a CSA, Community Supported Agriculture farm. And these 3 pictures were taken at night of the lake and the swans in the moonlight, and the swans with the moon reflecting in the lake. The photographer was Joanne, an intern here, and the producer of this video was Star, a volunteer on the property. Thank you much for taking this time to visit the Land Stewardship Center.